It is the Riot Podcast, the Tuesday, July 11th edition, and I'm sure, as we all know, that for July 11th, it's National State Fair Food Day.
Big day. Big day.
It's a wonderful day to remind you to get out, and even though it's State Fair food specific, lots of county fairs have a lot of good stuff too, some local firemen's carnivals, whatever your town puts on. It's always a fun time in the summer to just wander on over there and see what kind of trouble you can get into. What do you do when you go to the fair? What is your goal? What do you look to accomplish at the fair?
I don't really go to the fair.
You don't go to the fair?
The state fair? I've been to the state fair one time my whole life.
Yeah, the state fair. I'll say this. I think I prefer the local fairs more than the state fair because
every single time.
Typically, at many of the local fairs, you don't have to pay to get in. And I think it's a little bit of nonsense that I have to pay to get into the state fair.
And it's not like it's cheap either.
No, it's not.
It's not like it's like just a little bit of money.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good amount of money.
You got to pay to get in, and then you got to pay a pretty penny for everything in there. So you're not. Would you say you're more of like a food guy, a rides guy? You go to like the events, like sometimes there's demolition derbies, there's
everybody's
concerts.
Everybody's got a night.
Yeah.
My go-to night back in the day was always the motorcycle.
Motorcycle night.
Yeah, dirt bike night. Always my go-to. I would go for the dirt bike races. My favorite by far. Not even close. Anything else. I wasn't really like super thrilled about all the other stuff. Whether it was demolition derby or monster trucks. And I didn't go to my state fair. I've only been one time to the state fair. But I would go to my county fair every year.
Yeah.
Because I used to show pigs, right? I would take my pigs to the county fair, and I would go. I'd spend the whole week there, which happens. Like, that was like the first week of August, though. And so when I think about the state fair, never made appearances, but I was always at my county fairs, dirt bike night every single year.
I'm still big. I still enjoy the demolition derby night.
Demolition Derby.
Yeah. Now, where I grew up, we were one of the first places. Our county fair was possibly the first place in the country to have combine demolition derby night.
Ooh, that's pretty intense.
And when I tell you everybody in the county came out for that.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah, that was a hit. And it wasn't just demolition derby because they would also decorate the combines.
Of course, you have to do that.
Yeah, of course. So that was a lot of fun. And they were the forerunners of that in Carroll County, Maryland. So pretty proud of that. But I enjoy the demolition derbies, and then I just enjoy eating. I don't really care about the other stuff. I never got too much into the games or the rides, but I just want some food and I want some cars getting smashed.
Yeah, the other one that I really like is rough trucks. We had that one at my local county fair, which is essentially they set up the pretty much like a dirt bike track. Yeah, but it's for trucks, people's cars.
That sounds fun.
They just drive them through. My brother actually did it one time with one of our old trucks. And, they see if they can make it in the fastest time. Yeah. And so real exciting. They go one at a time. And so you're just trying to get the best time. And the cars end up getting destroyed. Half of them don't even make it all the way through the track. And so that's always a really fun one, too.
That sounds like a good time. You ever do the tractor pull?
The tractor pull.
That was a popular one.
Oh, I've been to all of them. Yeah. But, yeah, the tractor pull, the truck tractor pull, those ones are always solid, too. Real loud, super loud. Yeah. If you leave one of those nights, truck or tractor pull, and your ears are ringing.
Oh, yeah. Bring
whole night long.
Bring protection for that.
Yeah.
So it is State Fair Food Day. What is your food that you go to for what draws you in like a tractor beam when you walk in and you see the midway with all the food options?
If I'm leaving with one thing and one thing only, which usually is how it goes because everything there is like $10.
It's pricey.
No matter if you get a corn dog, a hot dog, whatever it is. The one thing I'm leaving with is either deep fried Oreos or deep fried Buckeyes, depending on how I feel on that day.
That is.
But those are my two go-tos.
Those are standbys. You don't get too adventurous.
Not an adventure.
I like to go wild at the fair. Like I said, it's a time to do things. It's not the time to play it safe.
Lash out.
It's time to live a little bit of a different life than you normally would live on any other day. And so that's the time to eat like donut burgers because I wouldn't eat that. I wouldn't eat that today.
No.
But if the fair was going on, I might be tempted. That's one that I've had some success with. The deep fried Buckeyes are a great choice. Anything
Always.
deep fried. which also includes funnel cakes. That's hard to go to a fair and not
get a funnel cake. Yeah, those are usually me, deep fried Oreos, deep fried Buckeyes, or whenever I go, I'll get one thing. Because usually, now I used to spend the whole week up there at the county fair because yet again I was showing pigs and whatnot. I had to be there every day. But now if I go to a fair, like a county fair, I'm going for one day for one specific night's events, probably like dirt bikes or rough trucks or something like that. And I'm getting one food because yet again I'm not spending more money than is necessary.
It's a lot of self-control, not consuming too many calories. That's, again, I'm the opposite. The fair is when you let go of all of that.
Yeah, I just can't quite do it. I can't get myself to just spend the money up there on, because if I do the one food, I'm only there for a couple hours too, and so if I pick my one thing, and it's always the same thing too. It's always gonna be deep fried Oreos. If I'm hungry, it'd be like a Stromboli, or maybe but I'm never one thing that I love up there is the lemonades because they put all the sugar and whatnot not in there.
It just hits different.
But at the same time, I'm never gonna buy one of those. Because it's going to be $8 for it. It's never worth it. It's never worth it.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned money because in the show today, we talk about breaking up with friends because they spend too much money and how to go about doing that. We also talk about why Prime, the drink, might be in some trouble and how to break up with people in 2023.
Ooh.
Yeah, good show today.
All righty, we'll see you guys soon.
Catch you next time.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on Radio U.
Isaiah, I'm sure that you watched the Home Run Derby last night. It was a fun-filled affair.
I did watch it.
And what are your takeaways?
It was solid. I wasn't overly blown away by it. I didn't think it was incredible. Or incredibly entertaining. The Home Run Derby is what it is. Kind of like you said yesterday on the show, when you've seen one home run.
Yeah.
And the other thing, too, that I thought was tough is I couldn't tell the majority of the time when the ball left the bat if it was going to be a home run or not.
Mm-hmm.
And the counter seemed a little bit behind.
Yeah.
On the little score. And so that was the thing that I had the most trouble with. I didn't know which balls they were hitting out and which ones they weren't. If they weren't showing it on the camera, if they weren't panning to the outfield, I had trouble keeping track of the score.
I'm glad you said that because I watched the Home Run Derby as well. I thought I had very similar thoughts of now the way the Home Run Derby used to be. You had a certain amount of outs if you go back in time where if you swung the bat and the ball didn't leave the park, then that was an out. And that was too slow for people because then, the batters would take pitches. They wouldn't even swing at them and it wind up taking for long. Now they've changed it up so where it's all about speed. You've got a certain amount of time. You're trying to squeeze as many home runs, take as many swings as you can.
Which is better.
It's great, except that there's just you can't track a swing of the bat to where the ball is landing.
Yes.
Because you always have, it's like you have multiple balls in the air at the same time.
Exactly, because it's going so quick.
Yeah. And so it's just real hard to follow in that regard. So I feel like there needs to be some kind of happy medium where it doesn't just have to be the players swinging at the ball before the previous ball has even landed somewhere. You got to take some time to admire the hits,
Yeah, I think so too. I thought about that. The other thing I took away from it was the people that are always in the outfield catching the balls.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that more of them don't get hit.
Hit by a ball?
Yeah, I'm shocked there's not more injuries. It's like little kids running around out there, which seems like a terrible
kids
idea.
Never get hurt.
It seems like a terrible idea. They're just literally firing these home run balls into the outfield with all these teenagers out there. If I was out there, I know for a fact that if I would lose the ball and get hit.
Yeah, but when I was a child playing in Little League, I got hit by baseballs all the time. It just bounces right off you. You get a little bruise, you move on.
If you saw the way Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was hitting the ball, I think me as an adult, if I got hit in the pinky, I think I would cry.
There's a lot of time to slow down by the time it gets to the outfield.
I just think it's dangerous to have him out there.
I don't know. They've been doing it that way for years.
I know. I'm surprised that nobody, and I'm surprised. I'm sure. The other thing I thought too is they don't show the crowd nearly as much as you think they would. And I think it's because they don't want to show people getting hit in the face with the ball. Because there's so many home run balls.
Yeah.
You literally cannot keep track of how many balls are getting hit out there. I think people are constantly getting hit. and they don't want to show injuries. I'm very convinced of it because there's so many balls getting hit out there. I mean, in the one round, Julio Rodriguez hit 41 balls in 3 minutes into the stands. Like, you don't think one of those balls
tend to go to the same spot too. So if you're somebody who you're in the outfield, in the outfield stands, you already caught a couple balls, and you're still getting pelted. You're like, enough already.
Exactly.
My hands are full.
Yeah. By the end of by the final round, which obviously Vladdy was the one who ended up winning, like I said, besides the point, he hit 25 out there. By the time that he hit those 25 into the outfield, everyone in that section has a ball in their hand already.
Yeah.
Are they paying attention? By the time they get out there, I'm telling you, somebody yesterday is waking up this morning hurting really bad.
Yeah. There's, it gets to be too much. I'll tell you, the last thing is that when you see one guy go up there and just struggle, it reminds you how difficult it actually is. Because you see Julio Rodriguez hit 41 balls in like 2 minutes, and it's impressive. And you're like, man, how come everybody isn't doing this? And then you see Mookie Betts hit 11, and he's like struggling to even crank those out. And you're like, oh, yeah, it's, these are the best home run hitters in the world. And even they can't just do it on command.
Yeah, it was crazy. When he hit that 41 round, I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive. But at the same time, he put on a good performance. Vladdy was still the winner.
Yeah. I think you can't overexert yourself all in one round.
That's what I thought, too. When he hit that 41, I was like, he did too much.
He did too much?
I'm like, it's a little bit too much. But he ended up putting together a good performance. In the next round, he almost knocked Vladdy out, but wasn't quite enough.
Not enough.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot. Radio U.
Because it's Amazon Prime Day. Day number 1. 1 of 2.
So exciting.
You checking out the deals?
I have been. That's all I've been doing this morning.
Have you found anything nice for yourself?
Not yet, but I know there will be some things that I will be purchasing because I've been holding off for a while on some different things for my house that I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger on probably today.
So what are you looking for?
Different furniture items, outdoor furniture, indoor furniture, just some little last touchy things for my living room that I've been putting off for too long now.
Were you putting it off with Amazon Prime Day in mind?
No, it's just something I've had in the cart for a long time that I haven't pulled the trigger on because I want it to like perfectly fit. And my living room is already like pretty full.
Yeah.
But there's like 2 spots that I'm trying to put new furniture that I just needed to fit the right way. And I'm nervous that things won't.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't sound like Amazon's your place then.
Oh, it's going to have to be. Because it's Prime Day.
Yeah.
Because I need the deals.
Well, is there any deal? What deals have caught your eye so far?
Well, I see right off the rip, I mean, per usual, is there a time when Amazon doesn't have one of the Echoes on sale?
Oh, if there's ever a time, it's going to be Amazon Prime Day.
I mean, they're always. If you want to lock in one thing, if you would have asked me yesterday, what's one thing that will be on sale tomorrow, I would have said the Amazon Echo.
Yeah.
Right off the rip.
Easy money there. It's, it's really amazing that somehow I don't have one.
You don't have an Amazon Echo?
Yeah. I feel
like an Alexa or a Google Play?
They've tried so hard to force it on me.
Well, I think
for years.
I think it just depends if you have like the things in your house that go with it.
Yeah.
Because I have an Alexa in my house that the only thing I really use it for is I'll play music off it sometimes.
Yeah.
Right? Or, because we have the Alexa RadioU skill, or...
Of course.
I use my lights with it, because I turn my lights on and off with my Alexa. Because I have all the light bulbs that are like compatible with it. But if you didn't have that, then I don't know if it's completely necessary for you.
It's not what led you to get the Alexa.
It was a gift. Somebody else got it for me. As a gift.
I can't believe no one's gifted me one.
I know. You must not have other people getting you gifts.
Yeah.
But then
they don't know what to get me, and then they see it's on sale.
Yes, exactly. So they gifted me that, and then I was able to put the lights in my house with it, and it's been one of my favorite gifts.
All right, so that's on sale. Anything else? Because I've got a few here that I'm perusing. I've got Lego sets are on sale today, and they're almost at the price where they feel like they are reasonably priced for what they are.
I'm not going to be on here talking about toys on a website to be cut their prices.
Yeah, because it's a competitor for your parents.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
My parents are on a toy store. If you want to get Legos, you can just get them from there. In person, small business. There you go.
Are your parents offering 30% off?
Well, I mean, I'm sure the deals on there are good and whatnot.
They're just very fine.
But yet again, are we going to support small business or not?
Yeah, good. No, good point. How about this though? I'm seeing a bunch of Yeti cups.
Yetis.
Yeah, also about 30% off.
Yeti is good. I have a Yeti right next to me right now.
Yet again, it feels like the 30% off. They're almost the price to where they would be reasonable for what they are. I'm looking at mattresses.
I'm about to say mattresses have some pretty big deals on them.
Yeah, well, I mean, if there's a big sale going on, there's mattresses.
There's always a mattress sale.
It's all these Zinus mattresses, which is not a company that I can say I'm familiar with, but I don't really care about company too much when it comes to mattress because they're expensive, and if I get it, they usually have like a 30-day guarantee. Usually,
does it feel good or not?
Yeah.
That's what we're worried about.
Yeah, that's what we're worried about. So the mattresses are a good deal. Anything else? Anything else you want to?
I like the AirPods.
AirPods?
I lost mine, so I could go for some new ones. They have pretty good deals on the AirPods right now. Went from $170 to like $140 for the new ones. If you're rocking the old ones, it's like $130 to $90. It's pretty good deals.
Could be doable.
Yeah, dropping it off like $40.
Who couldn't
pretty
use
good.
AirPods?
I mean, I lost mine, so if you're an AirPod user, this might be the day to ring that up.
There's bound to be a deal for you if you're feeling impulsive and you're feeling like you got some money burning a hole in your pocket. It's Amazon Prime Day.
This is the day to do it.
Just at the right time.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
Text in, what is the ideal way to get broken up with? Clearly never a fun situation to have to deal with a breakup, but when you're receiving the news, how do you want to receive it? Because what you say to me could tell me how old you are. Different generations evidently have different ideas of what's appropriate for breaking up and what's not.
See, I think if you're breaking up with me, I think you've got it, depending on what's going on. I think if it's like they live down the street, face to face.
Not too much to ask.
Is that too much to ask?
Yeah, face to face.
No. I mean, if they live in the same town as you,
yeah.
I think if they live in a different state, you better be on FaceTime.
Okay, FaceTime.
Not even a phone call. I want it face to face on FaceTime.
Yeah.
Because it's still face to face, and that still counts.
What do you think about breaking up over text?
I think that's wild.
You think that would be tough?
I think that'd be crazy. If you broke me over text, what would you even say? Doesn't even make it. I don't even know what you would say to break up with me over text. It's over?
I'd say I'm not interested in pursuing things with you any further.
See, maybe if you were like not dating, then you could maybe get away with that.
I have here that 20% of Gen Zers have broken up with somebody over text. And part of the reason is that for younger people, and this is myself included, you dread talking on the phone so much. You sure don't want to have to give a phone call to deliver breakup news.
Ooh.
That sounds real brutal, doesn't it? So
sounds real brutal.
Instead, people are resorting to text breakups more and more. For me, I guess I'd prefer getting broken up with over text versus on the phone.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, because I don't want to answer the phone.
I would. You're telling me,
and then
you just want to text. That's crazy.
Well, text me first, and then we can go from there.
Figure out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Like, should we meet and discuss this further? Like, what do we do?
Well, once they say it's been said, like, what are you doing? What are you meeting up with then? You're gonna go there and beg?
Like an exit interview?
You're gonna go beg?
No.
I'm not doing that.
No.
I want it face to face. If you text me and say, I don't think this is gonna work out, then I'm gonna call you and I'm gonna say, what the heck are you talking about, you lazy bum? Why did you just text me that?
Well, they're not gonna answer you.
They better.
They're not gonna answer you.
If they better.
After they send the breakup text, they don't owe you anything, I guess.
Yes, they do.
If
that's my actual girlfriend, I'm going to ring her right away and be like, what the heck is going on?
Oh, this is why she texted you, because she didn't want to have this conversation.
And then we're doing it. I'm confronting you face to face. We're doing it right now.
I think I understand the urge, if you're going to break up, to do it over text, but I don't know if it's the most healthy thing to do. Is that fair to say?
It's real unhealthy.
Yeah, it doesn't feel appropriate, but would I, if I was in a similar situation where I was breaking up with somebody, would I really be fired up to call them or meet up in person and then have to like part ways. Absolutely not.
But that's the way to do it, though. That's showing them the respect that they deserve. If you text them, that just means I don't care about you. That's what I think it says to me.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah, that means that I never cared about you. I didn't respect you in the relationship. If you're going to text me and say it's over, you're not even going to call me. You're not even going to FaceTime me. You're not even going to meet me in person. That just means that you just lack respect for me in general.
You're taking this real personally.
Of course I would.
This scenario of me breaking up with you over text.
If you broke up with me over text, I would be beside myself angry. I'd be real upset.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.
I saw a bunch of people freaking out on Twitter yesterday, getting real excited about the new image from the new Deadpool movie. And what they were excited about is not Deadpool himself, but Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I don't know if you saw this, Isaiah, but there's a picture going around from the movie that shows that Wolverine will don a famous yellow suit, a comic book inspired yellow suit for the first time after all these years of Wolverine being depicted in movies.
It looks pretty slick.
You like it?
I think it looks good and it makes sense.
Wait, why does it make sense?
Because if he's going to be in Deadpool, Deadpool's all red.
Yeah.
And so it makes sense for him to be wearing this all yellow suit, I think. When you look at them side by side, they just look like they're on the same team, you know? They kind of look like Power Rangers, if I'm being honest.
I thought that was the thing that jumped to my mind as well. They look a little Power Ranger-y. And sometimes I think the Marvel movies, they don't want to be that level of goofy looking. And so that's my concern here. I don't know. First of all, until I see the comic book style mask that Wolverine wears, which he's not wearing in this picture, that's what would really get me hyped up. Also, I just think it's weird that people are getting excited about an outfit that somebody's going to wear in a movie.
Oh, don't say that.
Yeah, no, it's weird.
No, that's not weird.
It's a little weird.
No, it's not. That's hypocritical of you. You've been excited for outfits for
like when?
Remember Moon Knight? We all remember Moon Knight. What did we say? In the trailer, his outfit looked sick.
It did look cool.
Yeah, exactly.
It looked cool, but I wasn't like, oh, it looks just like the comics. I can't wait.
No,
I was like, it looks like a cool thing.
I said Moon Knight's outfit is sick. I'm excited for his show because his outfit looks so cool. That's why I was excited. And guess what? It was cool.
Yeah, well, it was cool.
Fan.
But see, this thing, it's inspired by the comics, but it's not as cool as the comics based off of this one picture alone that we're getting to see. I think it's odd that Wolverine has been in so many Marvel movies over the years and never once has worn what he wears in the comics. I think that doesn't make a ton of sense. So it makes sense that he finally now would be in this costume. I just don't know if it looks as cool as I hoped it would look. And secondly, here's my... is it wrong for me to also say that I'm a little disappointed that Hugh Jackman is coming back as Wolverine?
That's a little messed up. I think people are against that.
He had it was such a perfect ending. Logan, a top 3, if not number 1 superhero movie for me, and that was the end. It was supposed to be the end. It was supposed to be he's stepping away from the role. It's gonna be different.
So you're upset that there's more Hugh Jackman?
Yeah.
People don't like that.
Yeah, no. I just want things to have the endings that they deserve.
So who do you want to play Wolverine then?
Why do we have to have Wolverine?
Oh, you say no Wolverine in Marvel
Maybe
at all.
We've seen enough
People
Wolverine for a while.
That. No, for what?
Maybe they're. It's just, we can't just keep doing the same thing for 30 years.
This is Deadpool with Wolverine.
I'm sure there's going to be...
This is Wolverine in, the MCU. What do you mean?
I'm sure there's going to be a very reasonable, multiversal, multidimensional explanation for why he's there. And I was just happy with how things ended.
So just want, you're just ready for new.
Yeah, I'm just, I'll be the Debbie Downer on this one.
That's tough news. I am against that thoroughly. I feel like Wolverine is one of the characters people have been most pumped up to have back.
I mean, I love Wolverine. He's my.
Doesn't seem like you do.
I took him first in our Choice Champions draft.
You just said you wanted his career to be over.
It was over. It ended. Why is it starting again?
You want no more Wolverine movies ever?
No, I didn't say that.
But you just said?
I said, let's give it a break. Let's do something way different. If we're doing multiverse stuff anyways.
This is way different.
Get somebody way different to do it.
This is way different. This is Hugh Jackman with Ryan Reynolds.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on Radio U.
How often would you say you lie? Because everyone lies. How frequently?
Not too often.
What does that mean, though? That's very vague.
I don't lie that much.
It means different things to different people. Again, that's not...
Every now and then.
Would you stop?
I would say.
Give me a specific answer.
I don't know, because I only lie situationally. You know, I don't plan out my lies. It's like if you ask me how many times I eat a day, I have a plan for that. I don't have a plan for how many times I'm going to lie. It might just come across. I might just have to lie.
Yeah, but do you keep track of your recent lies?
On a day-to-day basis?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Well, how do you avoid being caught then?
I think
if you don't keep track of your lies, you're bound to be trapped in a lie one day.
But I don't tell a lot of big lies that I have to keep track of. It's like little white lies
that you can just get away with. You think anyways.
Like yesterday after we finished the break, you go, you think I was pretty funny there? I was like, yeah, I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, but when did you lie though?
When did I lie?
We're talking about lying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
During that time period.
Oh, okay. Unnecessary. Would you say that you lie at least once a day?
No.
No?
Maybe. No. That seems aggressive. Maybe. I don't know. Do I? Once a day. It depends on what kind of lies we're talking about. Like little baby lies?
Yeah, that counts.
Like somebody asking me a question and me being like, oh yeah. And then pittering on with my day. No, not big enough lies to where it counts. I would say no, I don't.
They don't count. That's the sound. That's the sound of a liar is what I
Doesn't
hear.
it sound, that sounds liarish.
Yeah, it's like, no, they're not big lies. Not big enough to count.
Yeah, exactly. They're like little baby ones.
Yeah.
Little baby gals. I'm not lying.
Yeah.
They're like little baby ones a little bit.
Yeah. How about this? Where do you lie?
Where?
Well, yeah, what's the situation? Would you lie at work?
No, I don't have to lie at work.
You would never lie at work?
Not much, no. I don't have a reason to lie at work. I feel like I can be pretty honest here.
Oh. I'm not that way.
I feel like I lie more at home than I do at work.
What are you lying at home about?
I don't know. I don't even know when I'm lying.
You're lying to your roommate?
I'm not lying to him either. I have no reason to lie to him. When do I even lie? Do I lie? I'm not sure if I do at all.
At this point, now I'm asking why you would even... If you don't lie at work, I don't know what you're lying about.
When are you lying at work? What are you lying about?
When somebody asked me if I was working on something, I said, yeah.
Oh, of course.
I do that all the time.
You about got that finished up? Oh, yeah, I about got it finished up. I'm getting real close.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I read that email.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of stuff.
No, I'm getting ready to do that.
It says here that 13% of people admit that they lie at least once a day. And, here's another good one. Over 20% of people say they've lied on social media in the past year.
Really?
Yeah. You do that?
I haven't lied on social media.
I know. That's.
What would you lie about?
Well, it says here that people try to impress people on social media, so they try to give the impression that they have more money,
that they're hot dogging.
Yeah, they're more successful, prettier than maybe they.
So we're counting filters, maybe.
I mean, that counts as lying, right?
A little catfish action. That's a lie. That counts as a lie.
If you're trying to mislead and deceive people, that's lying right there. So let's all try to be a little bit more honest.
I think we can do that.
Except for me.
I think we need to start counting our lies. Whenever you lie, just for this week, count and see how many times you lie. Because I feel like we lie and we don't even think about it.
It's a good exercise.
Yeah, you feel like you lie all the time, you don't even think about it.
And again, if you take inventory of it, you might realize you're lying for no reason a lot
constantly.
Of the time. Yeah.
Did the lie even matter? Probably not.
The reason is you don't want to talk to somebody more.
Yeah, exactly.
So lying is the easiest way to end the conversation.
That's the truth.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, Radio U.
So often when you come back, you return from vacation, you wind up getting sick shortly thereafter.
Feels like that's where I'm at right now.
Oh, is that what you're dealing with?
I'm not sure if I'm sick, tired, sad. They all kind of feel the same
Pathetic.
Nowadays.
Yeah, which one is it? I've got an explanation for why it seems it's not your imagination. It's not a coincidence that you seem to get sick right after you go on vacation. Now, I think a lot of people would chalk that up to flying on an airplane, maybe being in that metal tube full of germs and recirculating air is one thing that people might say contributes to getting sick, but it's actually, don't blame it all on the airplanes. the truth is that whether you travel by plane or car or don't travel at all, if you take a vacation, you're more likely to get sick because your adrenaline and cortisol levels drop when you're on vacation. Yeah.
Why though? I feel like your adrenaline should be up.
Your adrenaline and cortisol, your normal levels are actually higher when you're at work because when you're used to going to work because that's when you're stressed.
True.
Those are hormones that assist with dealing with stress, and they're stress induced. And so when you take a vacation and you actually get to relaxing in this case, actually bad for you, in a sense, because that lowers your body's defenses, lowers your immune system, and then boom, you're more susceptible to getting minor infections and also being excessively tired. I noticed this when I was on my trip last week. I haven't gotten sick because of it. I think I'm out of the woods now. I think I'm clear. I got back on Friday, and I'm still feeling completely fine. But I did notice myself sleeping even more than I would expect. Obviously used to getting up early for the show. So, of course, I'd be sleeping in, but I was really sleeping in.
You were really taking your time, huh?
Yeah. Now, granted, there wasn't all that much to do.
Yeah.
But that said, it wasn't that, well, I've got nothing to do, so I'll just stay in bed. I was tired from doing nothing.
I feel like my thing when I come back from vacation is I'm always really sore. Like my back always feels a little bit tighter. I just don't feel like myself. Like right now, I feel just a little bit tight. Like I could almost use a massage. That's where my body feels. I feel like I'm just a little bit sore.
I can't help you with that.
Which I don't understand why that would even be.
I can tell you. I have information here that also comes from the same medical expert, Dr. Suhai Hussain, who says that when you are at work, your body tends to be tense. It's like they describe it as like having a rubber band kind of wound a little tight.
That's how I feel right now, actually.
All of a sudden, when you go on vacation, it loosens up because you're so much freer and more relaxed. But then when you get back to work, then it retightens back up.
Yeah, I'll tell you this much. When I'm on vacay, I don't have a single stress.
Yeah.
I don't think about it. I'll tell you, but the amount of times I thought about work over this past weekend, zero. I mean, I didn't even consider that I had a job until just about Sunday morning when I woke up and I had to make the trek back home. Then I was like, wow, I have to go to work tomorrow. Everybody's a little bit sadder because of it.
It hit you like a brick wall. They say that the best thing you can do if you want to avoid this is to slowly let yourself down, like slowly de-stress going into vacation. Try to get extra rest.
Smart.
A few days, like when you're still working, a few days.
Prep your body.
Exactly. And that should help ease the transition back out of vacation as well. There you have it. The secret, being less stressed all the time.
Yeah, so it sounds pretty easy, right?
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow @RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
I've been meaning to ask Isaiah, how's the softball been going?
I've gotten better.
Yeah?
In the beginning, there were some struggles. Our team plays tonight. We're on the fringe of the playoffs right now.
Ooh, playoffs.
Yeah, there's playoffs. And right now we're getting probably, I think we have 2 or 3 games left. We need to win 2 of our next 3 or 1 of our next 2 to make the playoffs, I think. But we're on the fringe of the playoff team. We're right there. I'm not exactly sure where we are in the standings, but I know we're right on the edge of playoffs.
In the hunt, in the mix.
But my game has gotten better.
You think it's improved?
Oh, by far. In the beginning of the season, I was terrible.
Well,
I'm okay.
How long had it been since you practiced softball?
Probably
prior to actually the first game of the season.
Probably 14 years.
Yeah.
15 years. Since I played baseball last.
I mean, getting to do it a few times, it's helped you out a little bit.
Get my swing back.
How long you think you'd have to practice before you're perfect?
Probably 5 or 6, 7 or 8 years until I was good.
Yeah.
Oh, probably 5 years.
Just to get good.
I think to be good.
And you're talented.
Yeah, I think it would take me a long time to get good.
You're a pretty athletic guy.
Yes.
And it would still take you 5 years to even be good
to just be good.
Men's slow pitch softball.
Yeah, because the guys there that are good, have just been playing it forever.
Yeah.
And so it's been like a long time standing thing for them. They do it every summer, where this is like the first summer I've played any kind of baseball in like 15 years.
But I think it's worth thinking about that. I hate the saying, practice makes perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Because for you're going to take if it would take you 5 years to be decent, halfway decent at softball, even though you're a pretty athletic guy.
Yeah.
And I think about this. You ever go to a concert? These guys, I mean, not every band is like this, but I mean, they're practicing over and over and over again. And if you really pay attention, if you're a real music nerd, you can find mistakes that are made at just about every concert from the best musicians that are out there. They'll still make mistakes. Practice does not make perfect. And so that's why it really irks me, the idea that people think you have to be perfect, that God has put out some kind of set of rules that you have to follow, and you have to just keep practicing, and that God expects you to be perfect one day, that he expects you to be able to follow all of those rules all the way to the letter of the law every single time. And if you can't do that, then you're a failure. But that's not how God sees it at all. God knows better than any of us. The practice doesn't make perfect, that we all are going to fall short and make mistakes and make bad choices no matter how hard we try throughout life. And the good news is that God loves you through all of that, that Jesus isn't looking at you and seeing you as a failure or just, cracking the whip saying, come on, you need to try harder. You need to practice more. You need to live a better life. God's not looking at you that way. He's going to come alongside you and help, be with you every day through all the struggles, through all the mistakes, through all the times we try and fail. Jesus wants to help you out through all of that. You want to know more? Start talking to him. He's there for you. You can also go to RadioU.com/free gift.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.
Now, how do you feel about Prime, the drink?
Oh, Prime.
Yeah, Prime.
They're pretty good.
You like them?
I like them.
You like them?
They're pretty solid.
They could be in trouble.
Oh, that's not good.
The Prime, even though as popular as it is, Prime, Logan Paul and KSI's energy drink, could actually be in some hot water with the government. It's possibly facing the company behind Prime is facing a possible federal investigation. And the reason being is basically that it is too high in caffeine.
That doesn't make any sense.
What do you mean it doesn't make any sense?
Too high in caffeine?
Yeah. Is there such a thing?
Well, I'm just thinking about all the other places, all the other kinds of energy drinks that are just as high, because I know exactly how many milligrams are in that of caffeine, which is 200.
Well, it's a combo of it's high in caffeine and the way it's marketed, particularly to children.
Don't play me with this.
We have some senators here that are concerned that because it's influencing children that are too young to be consuming so much caffeine.
I'm not with that.
I mean, well, think about it, though. Think about it. If you were like a 10-year-old and you saw a 10-year-old drinking a bunch of coffee, you'd be like, slow it down, kid.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good for you.
Well, coffee doesn't seem like a kid's drink.
It doesn't. But what makes Prime seem like a kid's drink?
I have no idea.
The packaging, the marketing, but it's still got some of the same, in fact, more problems with it, health-wise, possibly than coffee does for children.
But how are they just going to strike? This won't go. How are they going to just strike down on Prime for this, though?
Maybe it won't just stop there.
I mean, are they going to do Bang next?
You think Bang is for kids?
I mean, Bang has more caffeine in it.
Yeah.
And I think it's the packaging is just as exciting.
I mean, they do have like flavors that are like cotton candy.
Blue Raz.
No adult should be drinking something that's flavored cotton candy. Yeah, grow up.
And yet again, that has 300, and Rain as well, if you think about that. It's very similar to Bang. Also 300 milligrams, which is more. Rockstar. I mean, come on. 300 milligrams Rockstar as well. I think about some of these other energy drink brands. They seem just as marketed to kids. If you ask me who Prime's marketed to, I would just say, I wouldn't even know. I would say anyone, I guess. But maybe if you want to do kids, I guess you could make an argument. But I feel like you could make that argument for so many others.
Here's something that they point out. One of the folks who is asking the FDA to investigate Prime they're saying that it's marketed in a way that parents believe they're purchasing juice for their kids, when in fact, and this is a quote, they wind up with a cauldron of caffeine.
A cauldron of caffeine.
Now that's fighting words right there.
That is.
That's strong talk. They also say that apparently Prime Energy has an equivalent of a caffeine of 6 Coca-Colas or nearly 2 Red Bulls. That's a lot.
2 Red Bulls.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And if you had a kid drinking 6 Coca-Colas, again, my parents would have told me, they'd say, you can't have 6 Coca-Colas. What are you, out of your mind?
That's fair.
You're tough enough to deal with at 12 years old without all this caffeine in you, and now you're gonna go with 6 Coca-Colas. Of course they'd say no. But parents unsuspectingly buying this Prime for their kids, and apparently it's too much, according to some in the government.
See, I just think that when you look at its competitors, it's hard to just strike them down. Like you think about even just like the Mountain Dew Rise, right?
Uh-huh.
We're all familiar with that. 180 milligrams of caffeine, 20 less than Prime is.
Yeah.
And that's considered an energy drink, but it says Mountain Dew right across the front of it. Who is Mountain Dew targeted towards? Children?
I don't know.
You don't think so?
I think that's tenuous.
You don't think Mountain Dew Rise? I mean, at the same time, Bang, Rain, any of those, I think they're all the same thing.
So you want to bring down the whole energy drink industry?
No, I just don't think you can't take down any of them, and I just don't think you can.
They can do whatever they want.
Well, they're all so similar.
Well, make up your mind. Can they do whatever they want, or do we have to bring them all down?
No, I said they all can stay how they are.
How they are.
If you're a parent and you aren't looking at the nutrition label, it's your own fault. Be an adult. Watch what your kid drinks anyway.
You're asking a lot of parents.
I mean, is the next thing going to be, oh, I didn't know it was Mountain Dew Hard. I had no idea I was giving my kid alcohol. I mean, come on. Can we act like adults here?
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot. Radio U.
You ever had this? You ever had to break up with a friend because they were too wealthy?
No. Haven't actually done that.
You haven't had a rich friend that you couldn't keep up with?
That I was like, actually, we can't be friends.
Yeah.
Because you just got too much money.
Uh-huh. That's not happened to you?
Not yet, no. That has not happened to me.
I have here that for about a third of people, that's something that they've gone through, where they've had to cut ties with a certain friend because that friend, maybe it's not necessarily that they're rich, but the friend leads them to overspend. The friend's out there hot dogging every time you guys go out. It becomes a little too much, and you have to spend to keep up with them, and you just can't afford it. And so that's the breaks right there.
Yeah, it seems like something that could happen. I could see that happening. Just different lifestyles. And so if your friend is always wanting to go out and do these expensive things, or maybe they aren't supposed to be expensive things, and then by the time that you get there, they make them more expensive than they have to be, I could see that being an issue if you're not on the same monetary level.
Yeah. I mean, at a certain point, it might just come down to responsibility, because you and your friend, you could be making the same amount of money, but if they are just a little more willing to rack up the debt to break out the old credit card instead of being responsible, then all of a sudden you have a bunch of expensive night outs. You want to be a little more responsible with things, and so you have no choice but to call it quits with them.
See, I think too, I don't think you have to end the friendship.
Well, okay, let's play this out then. What do we do? We hang out all the time. I'm always like, no, let's go to this restaurant and overspend, and then we'll go out and do this other thing afterwards. And, it just goes from there. And this is every time, and you can't keep up. You don't want to be so irresponsible with your money. What do we do?
I think that you just need to just lay it out with them and just not hang out as much. Just because you're not hanging out as much doesn't mean you're cutting them off as friends. You can still invite them to the things that you can do. Whether it's, yet again, you don't only hang out with people at times when you have to spend money.
Yeah, no,
if you have a cookout at your house or something, you can still invite that friend over if they want to come to that. But at the same time, when they're inviting you to go do all of these things that might end up being expensive nights for you, you just skip out on those events. And on the other times, you can invite them.
I think you run the risk.
Your relationship might not be as close, but at the same time, you're not completely cutting them off.
I think you run the risk of not officially breaking things off with them, Because who does that with a friend anyways? You don't just say, hey, I'm not hanging out with you.
It's over.
It's not working out.
Me and you together, not going to happen.
Yeah, I think that that's just not how friendships usually wind up working. But what I think winds up happening the way you play things out is you kind of dial back on the stuff that's their idea. And then all of a sudden it feels like you're only hanging out on your terms, maybe to them. And so then they don't want to hang out on your terms. And so it just kind of, you drift apart.
That's how it might go. It could go that way.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's no reason to completely cut them off just because they like to go out and spend a lot of money. There's nothing wrong with that. If that's what their thing is, that's what their thing is.
Would you ever just sit them down, have a conversation, say, hey, look, I can't keep up with you. Listen, I'm poorer than you.
Ooh, that's a tough conversation to have.
And no matter what you say, it's going to sound like I'm poorer than you. But you can say, I'm just trying to be a little more responsible. And they're going to be
You can't say that.
You're poorer than me.
I definitely can't say I'm trying to be more responsible. That would be messed up.
Yeah. Then you just sound like you're no fun.
And then it sounds like you're like kind of taking like a stab at them. You can't be doing that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're over there flaunting it, hot dog, and take it easy, big dog.
I just care more about money than you do, I guess. I don't know. I just wouldn't spend it on silly things like that.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, RadioU.
Take extra care if you're doing any summer travel through the airport, because you just want to make sure you leave with everything you came with.
That's always the goal.
That's the goal. And the TSA, at least in Miami, is making it actually challenging for people to do that. 3 TSA agents have been arrested after it was found that they seemed to have a scheme to steal from passengers as they were passing through the security checkpoints.
I feel like that wouldn't be that difficult to do.
You think it'd be easy to steal from people if you're a TSA agent?
Yeah, I'd say so, considering they take your bags and put them through that little, what's it called? The TSA machine?
Yeah, the
X-ray machine?
I mean, it'd be easy to see if they had anything valuable that you wanted.
And they could just pull your bag and act like there's something in there, possibly they have to check. Yeah. And then they just steal from you.
Yeah, they say, oh, I have to confiscate this. It's setting off the alarms type thing.
Let me take a look-see and see what's in here. Oh, zip it back up. You're good to go.
Yeah. These folks didn't seem to be that clever, and they failed to take into account, and it seems that you are as well, take into the account that of all places in airport, particularly the TSA checkpoint, cameras everywhere. All kinds of surveillance, which made it easy to catch these folks and show that they had been working together to distract certain passengers that were going through the line. And then they'd slip in one case, they slipped $600 out of the passenger's wallet while they weren't looking and thought they'd get away with it.
What?
Yeah.
That seems kind of a little bit aggressive there.
Yeah. It doesn't sound like these were exactly criminal masterminds, because yet again, they're doing it on somewhere where they had to know they were clearly on camera and they weren't even being particularly covert about it.
Yeah, not super clever.
Plus, you expect somebody to realize pretty quickly that $600 is missing.
Yeah, they should have been taking things from the bag. Why are they not taking things from the bag?
I don't know, or coming up with an excuse instead of just, like, if it was me in this position as a TSA agent and I wanted to be a criminal and steal stuff, there'd be much more trickeration involved, probably more lies being told than just, hey, look over here. You set off the body scanner. I'm going to have to pat you down. Don't mind Bill over there going through your stuff.
Yeah, and I think, too, if you were to steal things, like if you put your bag through TSA, right? You got your suitcase, your luggage, whatever it is, your carry-on that you have going through there, you're not checking that thing. If it has, like, clothes, other things in there, if you put it through the TSA thing, you grab it, you put it on the plane, usually you wouldn't open up that bag until you're at wherever you're going.
Probably, yeah.
Unless it's a purse or something like that. So, like, there's a long time period where you could realize that something is gone.
Yeah. But then again, when you're heading up to the TSA line, there's never a time where you're more aware of everything on your body and in your bags than right before you do that.
Of course. And in any electronic that you have, you know exactly where it's at. So if you're going to be taking things, Yeah, I don't think that's the way to do it.
Yeah. This doesn't do much to improve people's impression of the TSA, which is, I would say, fairly low. Although in my experience, they're all fairly nice. Usually they treat me pretty well. For some reason, my crotchal region always seems to set off the x-ray. But other than that,
that's it.
Yeah.
You've made it all the way to the end of the Worst of the Riot. This show only exists because of support from listeners like you. Find out more and help out at RadioU.com/donate.